Howdy y'all, today we're out in the woods foraging for tinder and other fire making stuff. Stay tuned. So what we have here is an eastern red cedar, and what you'll want to do is, you can see how this bark, it's got loose bits on it that just peel off in strings. You can take that, crunch it up, that'll focus, there we go, and you can see how it goes all fibrous. You want to make sure that you're getting this, just the outer bark that peels off real easy with your fingernail, and that it's off of a standing tree, not one like a log that's been laying on the ground and drawn moisture or something like that. But anyway, what you do is you pick up a bunch of this stuff and you make it into a bird's nest, and that will catch a spark from a ferro rod, or you can use it with charcoal or something like that, or even a Bic lighter to make fire with. Anyway, once you've got a good handful, or preferably 2 good handfuls of this stuff, to process it further, what you'll do is just take and grind it up, pulverize it up, try to break down those fibers as best you can. The finer that you can get this stuff, the easier it will be to light. But what you'll kind of end up with after a while is something about like that, kind of cottony almost, with a bunch of the bigger stuff in there. That cottony material will catch a whole lot easier from a ferro rod. It'll be a whole lot easier to light with an ember from a char cloth or something like that too. And the bigger stuff in there, once it gets lit, it actually will sustain a flame a little bit longer. So that's basically it for how you get good tinder out of a red cedar. You just peel the bark off. You can even do this in wet weather if you go on the lee side of a tree. Usually if you rake off the outermost bits that are damp, you can still get pretty dry tinder off of the inner bark. I've done that a couple of times before in a rain shower, and it's worked for me. So yeah, it's actually one of the best resources that you have out here. As a little bonus, not 20 yards away from where I just gathered that cedar bark at, we have another thing that we can use here. This is a fallen rotted log, and if you see this right here, this is punk wood. This is wood that has rotted and it's gotten soft and spongy. So what you can do with this is treat it like char cloth. If you put this in a tin, go ahead and char it to charcoal, it'll keep the same shape and texture. Obviously it'll be a lot more fragile, but this will actually take a spark from your flint and steel, and it's actually, in my experience, a lot easier to start a fire with than char cloth actually is. So if you can pay attention when you're walking around out in the woods, and kind of keep your next fire mentality like Dave Canterbury talks about, you can see resources like this that are easy to just go ahead and grab and use, and the next time you light a fire, you cook some of this stuff up, and it, you know, will extend your punk capability for your fire making. So something interesting you guys should look out for when you're out in the woods next time. So what we're going to take a look at now is a plant called broom sedge, and I'm out here in a power line cut right now, and this is exactly the kind of habitat that you'll find this stuff in, is just open ground, especially if it's been disturbed. So you'll find it in old pastures and places like that. Ranchers hate it because it takes over real bad and cows won't eat it. But this is one of the best things to actually make a tinder bundle out of, because it just stays standing pretty much all year round, and you get that brown, easily recognizable plant. Just kind of a grass, I guess it is. And this is actually what I learned to make a fire with when I was first doing flint and steel as a kid. And to harvest it, all you do is just grab a handful and follow it on up. And as it tears off near the end, that's the bit you actually want. And you get, you know, a good couple double handfuls of this, and you strike it with a ferro rod or put a char cloth ember in there, and it just almost explodes. It's so flammable. And there's really, you know, no particular processing to it other than just to make sure that you're getting the really light fuzzy stuff, not the, you know, lower stemmy parts. And then yeah, it's pretty simple. It's one of my favorite things to use out here. So I'm back at the house now filming this because, like a goober, I went all the way out to the woods and realized I forgot my ferro rod once I was out there, so I couldn't show you how this stuff burns while I was actually out there. So we're gonna give this a try now. Alright, I'm gonna try giving this stuff a light with my ferro rod. This is the red cedar bark that I've made into a little bird's nest. I'm gonna be striking this with the Gerber, and it's worth noting that a lot of your success with a ferro rod actually comes from how good of a striking surface you have. So this is why I'm using this particular knife, because it's got the best 90-degree angle on the spine, and I think this will do the best. But let's give this a shot and see what we get. There we have it. Took a little more effort than I thought it was going to, but you have a flame. Now for the next one. And just like that, she burns. Let's go ahead and get that off there before it burns my table up. That's all I have for you today, but hopefully that showed how to gather and use these two types of tinder. And a little surprised that the bark took that long to ignite. Usually whenever I strike it, it fires right on up, but maybe that's the difference between doing things on camera and then just doing them for yourself, is that as soon as other people are watching you, Murphy's Law takes over. But hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe, leave me any feedback, and tell me what else you might like to see. So have a good one.